Folks, Ryan with Premier. Where are we? I'll show you where we are. That's where we are, folks. And what are we doing today? Well, this isn't something that's going to end today. It's going to be something that starts today. And what is that? Boom. You might say, what do you got going on here? Well, I'm going to show you. This was a basketball court. But it's not a basketball court anymore. Is that? Well, that's because pickleball is dominating everything and everybody wants pickleball. So people are taking their basketball courts, their tennis courts, and they're saying, I want pickleball. So this place did the same thing. Now, they dipped their toe in it, let's say. They wanted to see exactly how popular is this going to be. Well, it took off. We have people that have formed leagues, everything, and this court had issues before it was a pickleball court. You know, it had cracks, some really big cracks, and we tried to fix those cracks, but the cracks are beyond what normal things can do to repair them. We also had oil-based paint that they used at some point to do the basketball markings, and anybody knows, or anybody who knows anything about line striping paint, that oil base will not stick to water base, or I should say water base won't stick to oil base. You get a little flexing, and then it winds up just peeling up, just like right here. So it's like we got this problem, and it's like we got that problem, and it's like, what are we gonna do, and what can we do? So suggestion, you know, why would we keep coming back and fixing these cracks half-assed? Why are we going to keep trying to deal with these basketball lines that just keep popping through? And what are we going to do about these tennis courts? Because we're only on the basketball courts right now. We haven't even got to the problems with the tennis courts. And believe me, folks, the tennis courts, they have their own problems. So there was, at one point, some other cracks that got patched up using the same system that we used. And the cracks are outgrowing the patches. Over here, we have some really deep ones. Ones that, I mean, I can step on this and feel the indent. No true bounce there. And then we got this. This is the footing. And that thing's coming up. Why is that coming up? I'm going to tell you why that's coming up. Why has that lifted like that? I'm going to tell you. Because they didn't take it out all winter. It's because they probably have never taken it out during the winter. And what happens is a couple freeze and thaw cycles with that tension on that net, and it pulls it right up. So what are we doing? What is the plan for this? Oh, I am so glad that you asked, because we're not going conventional as far as the repairs go. No, sir. No, ma'am. No. We're going to be taking this court. We're going to be taking this whole thing, and we're redoing it. Now, we're not going to dig it out and redo it because that would cost too much money. And municipalities, they don't do things right. You know, they don't have that kind of money. So, you might see this fence and wonder, why is this fence wrapped with caution tape? Did somebody die? Valid question. When you see caution tape, you wonder, did somebody die? No. This says caution. It does not say police. Stay back. This says construction worker. Well, that's actually Spanish for caution. But when I see, in my mind, I see caution, and then I see Spanish for construction worker. Because in my mind, I don't know Spanish. So to me, it can mean whatever I want. Okay. So, what's the plan of attack? Oh, the plan of attack is going to be this. All this fencing with the caution construction worker tape on it, that's going to come down. I have my fence guy who was supposed to meet me here at noon. It's 12:50. Yeah, I called him. He said he overslept. So don't get the fucking oversleep. But he's going to come, and we're going to take this whole middle section of fencing down and roll it up, and we're going to stick it. And we're going to stick it way over there. Not this fence, but on the other fence. See how it's got the two caution tapes going down? That's where we're going to put the fencing, right up against that. So hopefully this guy brings his own helper, because I'm not I wasn't planning on being a helper today. But we're going to take that fence, roll the fence all the way up. All these sections come down. All these side posts come down. Which I could, if I wanted to be nice, I could probably go get my impact and start on bolting those for them. But all those are coming down. And then we're going to come over here to this section of fence right here. We're going to remove those two sections. Those are coming down. We're going to roll that stuff up and cut those two posts in the middle, the skinny posts. And that is going to be the access for the trucks. The trucks, you say? Yes, the trucks. Because we're overlaying this. We're going to repave this with a couple of inches of new asphalt. But we're going to do a lot of cosmetic stuff before. You'll see the videos of that. We're going to take the posts out because when it's all said and done, the basketball courts and the tennis court are going to be on that side, and the pickleball courts are going to be on this side. Now, you might be looking at this going, how are you going to do that? Because if this is the size of a tennis court and your tennis end line is right there, what are you going to do? You're going to have a basketball goal right at the end of your tennis court? That's a great question, but the answer is no. What we're going to do is, I know this wind is brutal, but until you guys start subscribing and fucking running up the viewership on this channel and I start making some money, then I'm not investing into any good kind of camera equipment, mics, Bluetooth mics. Nope. You guys are going to deal with the cell phones. So, this is going to get cut down. Now, for the most part, the footings on this, as well as those, are perfect. They're not heaving up. They're under the ground. You can't even tell where they are. So we're going to cut this flush or a little bit above grade. Okay? We're going to cut this like right here. Then we use a coring machine and core out the asphalt around it. And then we're going to cut the pipe down where the gravel is. We're going to fill that back in with mastic. All of these other cracks that you see here, these are all going to be filled with mastic prior to the pavement getting overlaid. Over here too, we're going to remove all of these old patches, and we're going to, this big one right here, they're actually going to cut this whole section out, everything along this crack right here, and repave that. But these other cracks over here, like this stuff, I'm going to go over this with mastic prior to them paving, to ensure that once the paving is done, you know, we got as much of a buffer before those cracks come back. A lot of people say, oh, that's, you know, you're cheap, or you're overlaying, that's the gypsy way. But it's like, listen, this is a municipality. This is a prevailing wage job. My guys, while they're on this job, are going to make 60-something bucks an hour. So everybody that steps on this job has to pay prevailing wage. The paver, the seal coating company, all of that shit. So if you're going to demo this court, that means the fencing has to come down, the fence posts have to come out. All of this has to be pulverized in place and regraded or taken out of here. The fencing has to be completely redone when it goes back in. So you got new fencing. On a court like this, you're probably looking with the centerpiece anywhere from 50 to 60,000 on a prevailing wage job, maybe even 70,000. Your tennis courts, you're at 35 grand a piece, you know, so you're probably in the 60s to have that paved. Then the coatings, you're at another 10 or 12 per court. So when it's all said and done, this thing is $150,000 project, as opposed to doing it this way, where the overlaying on the pavement is running them $26,000. The fencing is, to take the fence down, put that back up, that's $2,500. Our work to come in here and reset the posts and put up, because that's the other thing. We're moving these goals back. So after we go over this, these are all going to be brand new, but they're going to be right here. Half on, half off. All right, so you have plenty of room between the goal and the end of the tennis court. Over there, they're going to have 4 pickleball courts, I believe, and they're going to use temporary nets like those for the 4 pickleball courts. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great job. You're going to see a lot of videos coming from this job. I was going to do like, you know, just one video at the end from start to finish of the job, but I can't do that. I can't do that. I like to record and then post, record, post, get it up there. You know, this is going to be, by the time the pavement gets put in, which is probably going to be a couple weeks, and it's got to sit for 60 days and cure before we can put the coloring in. In the meantime, the fencing goes back up, all this stuff. It's going to be months before the video gets made. So, and you know, I wind up packing on a bunch of weight over the winter. Go figure. And then come springtime and summer, I drop it 50, 60 pounds like it's nothing. So I just don't want the fucking videos of, you know, oh, why are you so fat in the beginning of your video, but in the end you're skinny again? Like, fucking shut up. All right? So, all right, bye-bye.